Good morning. Welcome once again to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman Bergeron here on the southwest coast of Maine, where it's very windy today. Trees are blowing and it's cool. It's not totally freezing, but it's a busy day out there with the wind and the month of December coming in on us here in New England. I want to welcome you all this morning and to let you know that we are now entering an amazing time with the eclipse that's coming. It's the last month of our year of 2021, and we're approaching a sense of new awareness that is hard to many times describe in ways that are always functional. When I think of functional, I think of things that we can work with. And so this morning, as I awoke, the title of today's talk is The Blank Page. And this is a reminder for me and for all of us that blank pages are an opportunity. Whenever we come to a place in our lives where there's a blank page, it's an opportunity to write a new story, to tap into our higher selves and embrace who we truly are, and to connect with that higher self and work with it and bring it forward. If everybody on the planet did that, we'd shift it in 2 seconds. The issue is that there's billions of us here, and billions of us are suffering. Billions of us are in a place in their lives where they are depressed, or they are angry, or they're hungry, they're cold. And the utopian picture would be that everybody is well fed, clothed, has a nice place to at least reside, a comfortable place where they're kept from the weather. And will that utopian world ever come to us, is the question of the blank page. It's a blank page. What do you want to write on that page? I'd like to write that on my page, that we made it through all of the despair, all of the damage that we created, and all of the things that kept us in a emotional poverty, if you will. So the reality is if we can do this and think about this, that this month of December is a blank page, that we can begin to write things down in preparation for 2022, then we will already begin to process our mental and physical beingness to align with the unknown. Right now, there is so much news and so much distortion that we don't know what is truth, we don't know what is false, or what is propaganda, what is manipulation. And it leaves many of us with this void, this inability to trust a lot of things that are happening, not only to ourselves, but around us. Good morning. Bless you, Penny and Sophia, Victoria, Louis. Bless you. And the blank page for me is what I look at when I get up in the morning, and it's a blank page and I don't know what I'm going to write. And my guides just laughed and chuckled and said, that's the message, Charlie. It's the blank page. What are you going to write? So as we enter this last month of 2021 with a big bang, the big bang of the solar eclipse, I just want to offer you all my blessings and my encouragement for you to think about who you're going to be in the coming year. And not to over process that, but it's a preparation. It's a period, I look at it as a period of preparation where we can check on how we're feeling, where we're headed. And so years ago, and I've said this in another talk, when I first came back from my death, I used a blank page. And it was actually 2 pages that I pasted on my wall because I didn't know what I liked or what I didn't like. And I would, every time I liked something, I would write it down. And everything I didn't like something or something bothered me, I would write it down. And after the end of a month or 3 weeks or whatever, I had a visual line of what I liked and didn't like. This is very similar that I'd like you to do is to write, to get blank page. It's a blank page, and think, here is a blank page. I can rewrite my story or who I am, or I can rewrite my life based on 2 things. What is peaceful versus what is agitating. In this world right now, we are being triggered all the time. And if we tune into who we truly are, we're really a peaceful species of beings. But over time, we've become warlike, we've become exasperated, we become angry, we want to conquer, we become greedy, we become selfish. If you think about the story of creation from wherever you want to look at it from, we were given this opportunity to be here. We were blessed with the presence of Mother Earth and to be a part of Mother Earth. We're not separate from Mother Earth. And that's been the story that's been rewritten in order to make somebody powerful over somebody else. And while we do need certain rules and regulations, that power over somebody else is not a natural process. I don't care what they tell me. We all know in our hearts when we are born and as young children, we're not seeking power over anybody else until we learn that our parents have power over us. We're not consciously able to figure that out, but we know that there is somebody, it's just like in the animal kingdom, somebody will bark and bite the young wolf in the butt to make it do something. It's power over. In its innocence, it's about teaching us how to live in the world. And so it's not wrong to have power over. But when we use that power to direct and entrain somebody to think in a certain way or act in a certain way and overpower their own free will to act and speak as part of the collective, then we have stepped into a world beyond which was really truly in the original blueprint. And we've manipulated the blueprint. And we continue to manipulate the blueprint. And I say we because we're all part of this. So it doesn't matter if you're a leader or you're just a worker in a field. We've all been entrained that this is the way human life should exist. Instead of imbalance, instead of a wholeness. So, excuse me. So we've been forced into separation. We've been forced into separation and the reality that judgment of others is okay and ridiculing others is okay. And so this is what the blank page is about. The blank page is, and you can do this on your phone as well. You can do it in notes. You know, you can just talk about, just create a blank page with a split line in the middle, and basically it's going to be one side is what came to me as peaceful. What were my peaceful thoughts today? Or, and then on the other column or another page is what are the agitated? When did I get upset? What did I get upset about? And the reason I'm saying this is because we have this emotional system, and grab onto peace and walk in that way. Absolutely. Thank you, Penny. But we don't know if we don't know what that direction is. This is why I'm saying when we write down what makes us peaceful, when we feel peaceful, what are we doing? And because the mind is being bombarded right now with so much news, so much detail that we forget. And I, especially with the COVID fog or whatever, is getting worse or has gotten worse. And so I'm learning new tools. I'm using new tools to remind me, like writing things down or speaking into the phone or making lists. And what I'm finding is that in doing that, I'm not wandering off the center point as much as I was. I'm also not in a state of worrying about, can I remember or not remember? Because what's happening is I'm looking at what is powerful for me, that sustains me in a neutral position where I can look at life from both sides and not get caught up in the energies of it, which are distorted or trying to direct me in any particular direction that may not be in alignment with who I truly am or who I truly believe that I am. So what we're doing now is as we move forward in our evolution is we have to come back into that higher communication system, that higher inner being that has no limitations, that has no fear, that has no disarray. And it's there, it exists beneath all of this stuff. If you look, now I'm just seeing the space, outer space. We think of it as all clean and clear. But if you look, if you've seen the pictures and track, all of these satellites and stuff, it's like a junkyard out there. They're even now worried about colliding into the debris that they've created out there. So not only do we have plastic polluting our oceans, we have all of this metal and electronics scattered around like a junkyard in the atmosphere, our atmosphere rather. This is what we've done. This is who we are. We can make a mess out of anything. So this is what it's about, is coming back out of the mess. about how do we do that, and we have to tune back in to what is peaceful versus what agitates us. And when we it's easy for us to accept the peacefulness, but for some it's not easy because we're so attuned to being agitated now. The level of agitation is so high that when you go into a supermarket, even people with masks, you can read their energy. And you know that I just stay away from that person. I don't want to engage eye contact. I don't. This is what we're doing now. We're actually always on alert. And I'm sorry to say that this is not just here in this country, it's all around the world. Everybody is coming to a place of not trusting each other. I don't trust what you're saying. I don't trust what you believe. I don't trust what you're doing. So it leaves us in this world of insecurity. And the blank page, excuse me, the blank page is really about coming back to that blank page. Let's rewrite who we are, what we are. I go out this way, my way to smile and speak to those souls. Bless you, Victoria. I do too. However, I stay clear because their energy is what it is. And this is the whole thing. This is, as I speak to you, I know that each of you are in that mode of wanting to change the world to a better place. That's why we're here. This is humanity healing. How do we heal humanity? First of all, humanity has to figure out where it's got problems. So the top line and what we see in the news and what we hear in the world is the top layer. If we go down deeper into ourselves, what we will realize is that we keep getting triggered, um, which is like zapped with energy. And we realize that we're very quick to react to that trigger. So somebody may not be really attacking us, but because of the unknowing disturbance within us, they're just triggering that energy and it's lighting up. And we, more times than not, explode in a manner or kind which is not beneficial to anyone, especially ourselves. So it's our negative emotional feedback system that can't be shut down right now. We are highly attuned to find and see the negativity in everything rather than the positivity. And that's what this little suggestion is about, is what makes us feel good is an emotional charge that's peaceful. And then that peacefulness, the happiness arises out of it. And then we do something, and we do something that's beneficial not only to ourselves, but to somebody else as well. So we can extend that peacefulness rather than extending the agitation. Because when we're agitated, we do completely the opposite. It's not, I mean, it's not something we all don't know. And right now, that negative emotional feedback system can't be shut down. And it can't be shut down because it's being distorted. It's being distorted by a variety of um, a variety of things: the media, the uh, the governments, the virus, the you know all of these things that are near and dear to our survival, the increase in cost of food and sustenance. All of these things prey on that negative emotional feedback system. And it's picking it up and it's being overburdened. And I find that in myself as well. And I'm looking, I'm saying, why am I just feeling so depressed. And yeah, I mean, people say, you get depressed? Of course I do. It becomes an overload, but that's the overload that's talking to me right now, that's saying this no longer has to be that way. That in the coming year, this is what humanity needs to start pulling out. That this year has been the change point. It's the awakening of humanity to its errors, to its behaviors, to its decisions that are totally ridiculous for its future. And next year is we're going to come into a cycle of, okay, how do we begin to move out of that? While there are still people who want to go deeper into that control mechanism. So the thing was, you just get a piece of paper or two pieces of paper. And when you notice your energy is triggered either way, that you're at peace or you're agitated, just take a moment to just make a one word or two word note. It's simple. What was it that did that? Or what are you feeling in that moment? Because you've been triggered. And when we use the word triggered, I'm in a group that this came up about was how we get triggered. And what we realize is that when we sit in the singular field of singularity within ourselves, uh, we can notice when we're triggered and we don't have to react. But then it sets us as to look at and say, what was that all about? And for the most part, it's something that happened to us in our history. So all of you know right now, all of you are bringing up stuff that's happened over your lifetime, from childhood, traumas, injuries, people who said mean things to you, the bullying, all of these things that we've gone through. And we see it playing out on the stage, and unfortunately it's not pretty, and it's very dangerous, and people are dying from this. So it's um, realizing that we have power. We have power over negativity. That our electromagnetic charge is naturally positive. And Penny saying, I try not to connect with the negative energy. And absolutely, it's you. We have to not connect with it as much as we possibly can. But many of us don't recognize it until we are connected to it. So many of you are way further along than others in your path of recognizing the negativity and avoiding it or blocking it. And for you, that's awesome. Keep going and share what you do with others, because it's important for each of us to tell each other what we're doing, what works for us, what doesn't. We all become each other's teachers. I'm just I'm just here doing these talks because that was gifted to me to do a long time ago. When I'm not any more or any less than each one of you, that each one of you have this potential within you. And that's what the blank page is about. Who are you on that blank page? Rewrite your story. Find out what triggers you negatively. Figure out what triggers you positively. So I use the words peaceful and agitated. But you can do any word you want that is basically going to represent a positive energy or a negative energy. Play with it. Use your mind and your creative mind to do this. It's only about bringing awareness to the mind. And we're bringing awareness to the mind to say, mind, we love you. You're beautiful. But you're really not who we are. The we lives in the heart. This is who we are in the heart. This is how we came into this world, is with the heartbeat. No heartbeat, no life. And it's that simple. We can talk about all the profundity of all of life. But if this heart isn't beating, you're not existing. And this is what we have to come back to. If we look at what is, happening in the world, the energies are distorting our heartbeats. They're shutting down the communication of our heart to the brain. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. I'm a realist. I look at it and say, what is going on in me? And when my heart and mind are disconnected, I'm not good. So I'm not asking you to disconnect it. I'm asking you to put it in the proper alignment. Run your life from your heart, not from your head. And the only way we can do that is to come back to peaceful, put peace back here in the brain, not the agitation. I could go on about why it's happening, the electronics, the propaganda, the teachings, the power over, you have to do this. We all know, we're all subject to it somewhere. So this is what happens when you put it on a blank piece of paper. You create a visual record of your triggers. And when we do that, we no longer have to think about them because it's easy to dismiss it there. But if we have enough energy to take that and write it on a piece of paper or speak it into a phone on your notepad or whatever, you have a record of it. So you can't go back to the record and say, well, I meant this or I meant that. Well, I was just having a bad day. You can do that, but the evidence is there. You put it there. Who was that you that put it there? That you is the person who cares about you. It's your true self. And this is what we're learning. It's just to be that true self again. That true self that when we see somebody in distress, we're not going to go into fear. We're going to be willing to not to assist them. And this is all part of the process of getting rid of what no longer serves the higher self, because we're moving into higher frequencies. We're moving into more light. More light is coming in. There's less room for the darkness. And the darkness wants to hang on and cling to every square foot of it can, of presence. And it's being moved out. And this is what all of this energy exchange is about. The sun is rising. As you can see, my room gets brighter. The sun is moving. It's moving. It's the light within us that's moving, that's coming forward. It's going from winter to summer. You can look at it from any analogy you want. And so the reality is, if you take the time to invest in yourself as to what is triggering me, what is making me sad, what is making me happy, and begin to gently trace that in your own life pattern. We know there are other people that trigger us. We know that there are other situations, and we know that they have their own issues. But our responsibility now is our issues. And if we can't resolve what's going on in us, how do we possibly think that we can help others? So it's a mutual reciprocal process. And I say it to you because I know each one of you have the power to do this. And I know many of you have personal issues that are overwhelming, including myself at times. The overwhelming gets to us. And we get into that pity pot and we get into that questioning, why am I here? We're here because we are the change. The reason you're listening to this is because you're confirming who you are. It isn't about me, but you're seeking that part of yourself. I don't want you to be me. I don't want you to be anybody else other than who you truly are. And again, we are going to let go of a lot of memories. And that may be upsetting to a lot of people, is to uh, you lose that memory. But you have to remember that we have to clean things. So it's like when you clean your attic or your cellar, there's a lot of memories there, but we have to get rid of them because we can no longer bring them to the new beingness that we're coming into. So make it a little fun, and each one of you can create your own fun with it. It sounds strange. How do I have fun getting rid of stuff? But you can. And that's what lightheartedness is, and that's where your heart comes in. As the joy of your heart, the releasing its heaviness. And that triggers the brain to become lighter as well. As we dive deeper into our hearts and we clear all of the pain and the suffering, we open the gateway to the true self that we can't fully understand because this is inundated with negative energies. It's just shifting. So you begin with a sense of humor and make it lighthearted, make it fun. It's like, like anything. You want to make a quilt or you want to uh, do a puzzle. Yeah, it can be exasperating at times, but have fun. Have fun exploring who you are inside, that blank page. It's a blank page. You can draw anything you want on it. But first, we need to know who we are and what we want. And in order to get to that point, we have to eradicate or remedy or whatever it is, all of those negative thoughts and energies that are being pumped into our brain on a daily basis. It's an amazing process that each of us will be going through in the next year. And I want to encourage people to not stand here in fear of that. I want you to stand here in your sovereignty. And I want you to realize that through love, through deep love, you will succeed and you will assist others to succeed. And that each one of you are not here as victims, but you are here as champions. Champions that are overcoming the darkness. And while it sounds, I don't think I can do that, it's happening. It's happening with every time you make a decision based on that higher self, that sort of overlighting being that you are. You are this amazing bubble of light. And that's what's going to get us through all of this. So, as I say, blank page, however you want to use that, however you want to look at that, this is what 2022 is going to be. It's going to be a blank page for many of us to rewrite or to write for the first time, perhaps, who we are and what we're here to do. And I encourage you all to do that. I wrote a poem, or I always do, for Global Heart Team, and which is held on Thursdays. And we do a little meditation and a journey, and we send blessings to people and the world especially, and hold the world in our hearts. And let me see if I can find it here. I know I can find it. It's the topic was our true personal heart. And when we again think about the future and who we are and how we love things, what we don't always remember is that there's a level within ourselves that is all heart. It's all love. It's love in a sense that we're not able to really, how I want to say this, mentally tap into at a level which would overcome everything. But it's there, and we can tap into it when we need to. And so, as we're going through this blank page program, we need to return to the concept of love that is not just human love, not the love that you have for your animals, not the love that you have for each other, but that higher love, the love that what we call a creator, a source of being, has for us. And we go there when we die. We become that. There's no physicality. We become the love that we came from. And all of that dwells within our heart, our physical heart, and its connection to the brain. But we've been told not to express that. So this poem writing is called Our True Personal Heart. And I will read it to you, and may it bless you with its message. Let us pause for just a moment and search for the steady yet gentle pulsing rhythm within our body. Every moment, every movement is a confirmation of life, a gentle reminder of our physical existence, wherein our awareness is triggered to experience the positive energy we call love. Let us now feel ourselves looking down at our form from another level of awareness, one in which there are no exceptions, no expectations, and an ever-transforming imaginal field of wholeness. Are we still personal there, or part of a collective in which love is not held prisoner by structure? Are we projecting love into that space of wonder? Or is love entering our bodies, microcells, from there? Our personal heart is the vehicle through which we entered this physical dimension, and through which we will return to that source beyond precise human description. For our true personal heart has no shape or form except as light, which cannot be destroyed, which can only be diminished in frequency, not its ability to express love eternally. Eternally. That's the last word. Eternally. Forever. No matter what form we enter, no matter what form we become, no matter what we think, no matter what we do, we are love. And that's what's going to carry us into the future, is to remember that love that we are and to act in accordance with that. The minds are wonderful. The bodies are amazing. But without the heart, we really don't exist. Hold on to that thought today. Hold on to that thought this week. Hold on to that thought as we move into 2022. And know that it is a time for us to let go of all that is distorting the vision of love that we truly are. On that list that you create, if you choose to, look at it and realize this is you talking to you. This is you talking from the heart to the mind to tell it that it's okay, it's forgiven, that you, the real you, understands, and that real you is now here to help the brain, the mind, to recover from the abuse of thousands and thousands of years. A little card I pulled as I close. This is from the Archangel Angel deck from Shanta Gabriel. And it says, when you connect deeply within to your enlightened state of mind, there is an expanded perception of the world. And any question can be answered. That's from the angels. I'm just an earth angel. But the real angels are here to guide us and direct us out of our own way. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. We are unity. One love. One heart. May each of you, as we begin this month of December and move through all of the celebratory events in preparation for the new year, come to a deeper understanding of who you truly are in your hearts and act accordingly to those choices that you make. The choices that you make for your highest good. Because what's for your highest good is for my highest good as well. And I thank you. We'll see you next week. And somehow I can't get it under 45 minutes. I try. I think about it, but it's just the words keep rolling and rolling and rolling. And for those who have ever called me on the phone, they know that they're in for at least a couple of hours. So bless you all for your tolerance and your love. Have a great week. Be blessed wherever you are, and bless your families as well. It doesn't want to end. The never